Hello, hello. So today is day 11 of 365 raw verbal journal entries, basically, um, talking about suspending disbelief and building an unshakable trust that our success is inevitable. So today was such an interesting day. It was a very up and down day. By the way, my kids are in my bed and I don't want to go freeze in my office in the basement. So it might be a little echoey in the room that I'm in right now. But, okay. So yes, I had an up and down day today. It was very, nothing really horrible, nothing wildly amazing, right? But things were just kind of all over the place. It was gorgeous out, so I spent a lot of time outside, which I always try to do when it's nice out, especially because here in Canada, we only get so much nice weather. um, so, one of the first things that I came across today was in an Oracle book message, like the messages in the book. Um, And I really wanted to share it because I felt like it was just so inspirational and so on point. Um, so, what I wrote down, and it's not word for word from the book, all of it, but it's inspired by it, was having big dreams is a wonderful thing, but you need to be serious and focused when making them come true. So, yes, we want to set these big dreams. Yes, we want to suspend disbelief. Yes, we want to just trust and know that our success is inevitable. And we also need to act. We also need to take steps that move us toward that. And so I thought that that was so, so key and so aligned with everything that I'm doing right now. And I really wanted to share it. The quote in there that I absolutely loved was Thomas Edison said, "Success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." Now, I would change those numbers personally. I think that that's like a very down to earth person. That's how I would have been before. Absolutely. When I was operating mostly in my masculine, forcing, bust ass hustle mentality, right? Um, I don't know a new percentage, but I definitely would say that it is different than that, particularly as a spiritual entrepreneur. So that may be very aligned and true for, say, corporate positions, for like very concrete, cut and dry, this is your job, you go to work every day kind of thing. But as a spiritual entrepreneur, a lot bigger of a percentage is about the inspiration. And I would say concentration instead of perspiration. So, unless you're building something physical, perspiration, just working hard, is not the point, right? But concentrating, focusing on the end goal, on the outcome that we want, is much more aligned, right? And as far as inspiration goes, we want to be getting a lot more inspiration when we are tuning into our intuition to follow our unique path. And that brings it to, like, I don't know, maybe a 50-50. Like, it's and that's kind of the goal, right? We want the feminine flow and allowing, but we also want the masculine action. We don't want just one or just the other. Um, and so when I read that quote, I was just like, well, that's so perfect. Like, that's exactly how I operated before. And I operate so differently now. And I just thought it was such a perfect quote, um, to kind of showcase this whole scenario. And the whole point is to find that balance. But you can have all the inspiration in the world, and if you're not acting on it, you will get nowhere. So I thought that that was really, really incredible. Another thing that the book said was success is also rarely linear. It takes time. And this is, oh my gosh, so true. So this is like the only time I wish that I was on a video so that I could show you guys what I'm talking about. But I have had a lot of clarity come through about how healing works and about how progress forward works. So if you can try to imagine a line going from A to B or A to Z, right, where you're trying to go. Now, at the beginning of that line is where you are. And instead of following straight on that line, you curve up and back down and around and you spiral. And on your next loop around the spiral, you're a little bit farther ahead on that line. And then you loop back down and then up again and back down and you come to the line again. And this time you're a little bit farther ahead again. Now, as a spiritual entrepreneur, especially, we're always working on our healing, right? We're always working on our growth, our personal development, all of that. And so what happens when we're in these spiral modes is we go farther back into our past. We dig into our memories. We dig into our limiting beliefs that were put into us or that we chose by what felt safe as young children. We go even farther back and we touch into what may have happened in past lifetimes or in generations past, and obviously depending what you believe. But we do all of that healing, and each time it brings us farther forward along our path. But healing and success for a spiritual entrepreneur go hand in hand. And so success is very rarely linear, right? And it does take time. So each time we're a little farther ahead, and going back to what was said originally in that Manifestation Babe podcast episode was that she had said, your worst case scenario is where you are right now. And she was saying, because if you dip lower than that, say you lose your home, it's fine. You can get back to where you were. You've already been there. You can get back there again. And that's like this whole mentality, right? So every time you do this loop of the spiral, you feel like you're so far back, but you're actually healing farther back on that line so that you can jump forward farther ahead than you were before. So I know that that's a little bit hard to maybe explain and wrap our heads around when it's audio only. But I do these at night before bed and I'm like ready for bed. So I'm not going on camera. I don't care how authentic I am. Anyways, that hopefully I was able to describe that visual enough for you to understand. Okay, so beyond that, I did have a couple of other things that happened that I did, etc. today. One thing that did come up was first thing this morning, I had said that I was going to read my script to myself in the morning every day, and that was my new plan. And that did not work out for me because I had it digital. I did not have it on paper. I just had it on my computer. And I try not to be on my screens at all when I first wake up. And I was just at cross purposes. So I had planned on getting to it and I didn't make it to it today, but I was going to write it out on paper so that I have it to look at each morning. I will work on that tomorrow because I did not get to that on my list today, and that's okay. I also do still want to make some of those adjustments to it and just add in a few things to it. Okay, one of the other things that came up today that was a little bit not even harder, just maybe less bubbly. I don't know. Today, Jess and Kelly, so these are my two unofficial mastermind ladies, the three of us. If you can't tell from following this podcast, from listening to Jess's Telegram messages, from reading Kelly's blog posts, the three of us are, I loved how Kelly put it, like the three musketeers, okay? Like we are inseparable. We do like most of our healing together. We do most of our plotting and brainstorming and all of that kind of stuff together. And today, among many other conversations that we had, Jess and Kelly helped me realize an area that I was just allowing to happen to me. And instead of allowing it to happen to me anymore, I was able to turn it into an intentional situation instead. So, I don't want to go into too much detail with this because it has nothing really to do with my focus for this year of suspending disbelief and all of that. But at the same time, I do believe that everything is interconnected and that if we're going to suspend disbelief in one area, we need to suspend it in all areas. And this is something that's really been coming up with the three of us also, where we're like, I'm suspending disbelief about money. Well, yeah, I'm also going to suspend disbelief about, Kelly was talking about the health of her dog, and so many things have come up, right? And it's, in this situation, this has to do with my ex, who is the father of my children. So I'm not going to go into super detail, but the thing that came up was with this one, and it was an area that I was allowing to happen to me, without taking the pause to consciously think it through and decide. And nothing changed outwardly. So the situation has not changed at all. The my actions, my decisions, all of that are staying the same, except for this time I intentionally decided that I'm choosing to stay in this mode for now. That this is where I am, this is what I'm okay with. And that I think that it's the best situation that it could be. And again, the only thing that changed was the intention behind it. Instead of me just letting it happen. Oh, now my dishwasher just kicked in. Hopefully you guys aren't picking up that sound. Instead of just allowing it to happen, now I'm being intentional about it. And it feels energetically completely different. It just is it was letting go of like one final layer of fear, or one final layer of being controlled, of not feeling free, not feeling like I can do anything. Or it's not anything, but like I feeling helpless, right? And it was a very small layer. It was something that was very buried, and I wasn't thinking of it like that at all. There was nothing in my brain that was like, oh, I feel helpless. But choosing, like, yeah, I'm going to keep it as it is, but intentionally just gave me all of my power back. And so that was super powerful. And the very last thing that I did want to share for today was that I decided to share my Bingeable Business podcast for free for now, for the first 100 listens. So with podcasting, you cannot monetize, at least through the platform that I use, you cannot monetize until there have been 100 plays of your episodes in like a 60-day period or whatever, which I have no doubts that I will reach that number, no problem. But I had put a bunch of my business, like live trainings that I've done, into a podcast format, and then found that out. And so I was kind of stuck like, okay, what do I want to do? Because this was something that I specifically wanted to monetize. I wanted to be selling it there's so much value in these. And I was just kind of sitting on it for the last while since I put it into a podcast format. And I was like holding on to it because I'm like, well, I want this to be a paid thing. Like, I don't want to give it away for free. And today I decided that that was not getting me anywhere. And I was literally just sitting on it instead of making that money, when in the amount of time since I had it ready until now, I probably could have had those 100 listens over and done with and have turned it into something that I could monetize um, and be sharing and be paid for. So all that said and done, I finally decided, you know what, like, screw this. I'm not going to make it some big secret. I will put it out there, say free for the first 100 listens. Who, like, first come, first serve. So whoever listens to it first gets it for free. It's bingeable. It's a year's worth of live trainings, um, just plopped into a podcast. They're raw still right now. They're uncut as well. So there's a little bit of like the humming and hawing at the beginning of live videos where I'm going like, okay, am I live? All of that kind of thing. And I probably will clean that up eventually, but it's there, it's moving, and imperfect action is better than no action, right? And so that was my movement forward today. Aside from the healing piece with Jess and Kelly, it was that. So I felt like that was like my challenge and my win for the day kind of a thing. And yeah, I will actually, and I will link the Bingeable Business podcast in the show notes for this episode for anyone who does want to listen, who wants to try and binge some of them before all those 100 plays are gone. I mean, this podcast, this daily raw journal of mine, has almost reached 100 plays in the 10 days, now 11 days um, that I've been doing it. And you guys, like, I originally shared this with 3 people, so I did not expect it to be what it is. It just has been building momentum very, very quickly. So all that said and done, I don't think that those bingeable business ones will be up for long for free. So I will link it just for anyone who does want to go and listen. And hopefully find some nuggets in there that are helpful for your business, because that is the point of what I do. And there are also a few spots left available for my business membership, which is crazy low ticket. That is also changing. I'm revamping how it works, all of that. But for anybody who wants to get in, there are a few spots left at the low price that it's at right now, which will also be linked in the show notes. So there we go. That is where I'm at for today. I hope that you are all having the success that is so inevitable start to roll in for you. I hope that the alignment is happening in the most gentle way possible. And I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow. Bye.